He was the most feared CEO in the city. She was the maid everyone ignored. When a $200 million deal collapsed, the boardroom froze in panic. But in the corner, holding a mop, she whispered one sentence that changed everything. If stories like this touch your heart, like the video and subscribe to Inspiration Stories Box, because the ending will stay with you forever. The glass walls of Orion Global shimmered under the morning sun, but inside the top-floor boardroom, fear hung heavy in the air. Ethan Kross, billionaire CEO and known perfectionist, stood silently at the head of the table. His executives avoided eye contact. The screen behind them flashed red numbers, losses climbing by the second. A $200 million acquisition deal was collapsing due to a last-minute algorithm failure in their logistics prediction model. Engineers had worked all night. Consultants had charged millions. Nothing worked. One wrong calculation and the company's global expansion would crumble. Stocks would crash, and thousands of jobs would be at risk. Ethan's jaw tightened. Failure was not something he tolerated, from others or himself. Outside the boardroom, Maria quietly wiped fingerprints from the glass door. She had worked as a cleaning maid in the building for 6 months. No one knew much about her except that she was punctual, polite, and invisible. She cleaned after meetings, during late nights, and early mornings. People spoke over her, around her, never to her. As she wiped the whiteboard, her eyes drifted to the equations scribbled in panic, half-erased formulas, probability trees, supply chain simulations. Her hand paused. Something was wrong. Not complex, just wrong. A misplaced assumption, a flawed constraint. Inside the boardroom, voices rose. "We'll have to pull out," one executive said. "The risk margin is unstable," another added. Ethan slammed his hand on the table. "You're all telling me a $200 million problem has no solution?" Silence followed. That was when a soft voice came from the doorway. "Sir, I think the model is inverted." Every head snapped around. Maria stood frozen, mop in hand, eyes wide with regret for speaking. Ethan stared at her, disbelief flickering into irritation. "This is a closed meeting," he said coldly. "I'm sorry," she whispered, already backing away. "I didn't mean to interrupt. I just noticed the demand elasticity was calculated backward." The room went still. One analyst frowned. Another turned back to the screen. "Wait, run that again?" someone muttered. Fingers flew across keyboards. 30 seconds passed, then 1 minute. A gasp filled the room. The red numbers turned green. The loss graph stabilized. The deal worked. The room erupted in stunned chaos. Ethan slowly turned to Maria. "What did you say your name was?" She swallowed. "Maria, sir." He studied her like a puzzle he never expected to solve. "Sit down. Now." Maria hesitated. She had never sat at a boardroom table in her life. Her uniform felt heavier than ever, but she obeyed. Ethan pushed the laptop toward her. "Explain," he said simply. With trembling hands, Maria explained the flaw, clear, precise, confident. She spoke of probability, optimization, and real-world constraints with ease. The executives stared like they were witnessing a glitch in reality. When she finished, the room was silent again, but this time in awe. Ethan leaned back, eyes narrowing. "Where did you learn this?" Maria lowered her gaze. "I used to be a quantitative analyst before life happened." The room felt different now, smaller, humbler. Ethan dismissed the executives one by one until only he and Maria remained. "Tell me everything," he said, his voice no longer sharp but steady. Maria took a deep breath and spoke of her past, a scholarship to a top university, graduating with honors in mathematics and data science, landing a dream job at a rival firm. Then came the crash. Her husband's sudden death, medical bills, a lawsuit that drained her savings, and a corporate scandal where she became the convenient scapegoat. Blacklisted, desperate, and with a young son to feed, she took the only job she could find: cleaning floors, staying invisible, surviving. Ethan listened in silence. Each word hit harder than the last. He recognized the firm she mentioned. He recognized the lawsuit. He had signed off on it years ago without reading the details. His company destroyed her career to protect its image. For the first time in years, guilt pierced his armor. "You saved this company today, and we destroyed you back then." Maria shook her head. "I didn't come here for revenge. I couldn't watch everyone panic over something so small." Ethan stood up. The most powerful man in the building bowed his head. "I'm sorry," he said. The words shocked even him. The next morning, the entire company was summoned to the auditorium. Rumors spread like wildfire. Layoffs? Restructuring? Ethan stepped onto the stage. "Yesterday," he began, "this company was saved by someone we taught ourselves not to see." He called Maria's name. Gasps filled the room as the maid walked on stage, hands shaking. Ethan continued. "She solved a $200 million problem in seconds, not because she's lucky, but because she's brilliant." He announced Maria's appointment as Chief Data Strategy Lead, reinstated her professional record publicly, and launched a foundation to reinvestigate wrongful corporate blacklisting. The company erupted in applause. Some cried. Maria covered her mouth, tears streaming down her face. But Ethan wasn't finished. "This company will change," he said, "not because of profit, but because of people." Policies were rewritten. Voices once ignored were invited in. And Maria? She didn't just rise, she lifted others with her. Months later, when Ethan passed her in the hallway, she smiled, not as a maid, not as an executive, but as an equal. He finally understood. Genius doesn't disappear when ignored. It waits, and sometimes it carries a mop. If this story moved you, please like, share, and subscribe to Inspiration Stories Box, because the ending will stay with you forever.